Welcome back, Algebra 2 students. We are in lesson 41, and we are going to be talking about units and unit multipliers. So this is kind of a review because we have been doing these. We understand that whenever we are talking about conversion of units, that we treat a unit of measure like a variable. And by that I mean we pretend it has an exponent of 1 next to the unit of measure, and then we cancel it out. In so doing, we can also reconcile those unit of measures in fractions. So perhaps we had centimeters cubed over centimeter to the 1 power, so to speak. That would actually equal centimeters squared because we were able to factor out one of the centimeters from the top. What we actually had was centimeters times centimeters times centimeters over centimeter, and we factored out one pair of the centimeters, one from the top, one from the bottom, which left us centimeter times centimeter, which is centimeter squared. So we learn how to treat that unit of measure like a variable with an exponent whenever we are doing units of conversion for area and volume. So let's do some of those and refresh our memory on these types of problems. So let's start with 41.1. We are going to use a unit multiplier to change 600 inches into feet. Now, the first thing we have to have is a reference, a point of reference. So we know there's a ratio out there that says 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. Right? So in using this point of reference, we can convert this into feet. What is important is to remember what unit of measure is on the top is the unit of measure you want to use on the bottom. So we turn this into a fraction, and then we use our unit multiplier. And remember, inches is on the top, so we want to put inches on the bottom so we can cancel or factor out the unit of measure so we can turn it into feet. And let me explain. If we write our unit of measure in the fraction, then we treat it like a variable, and we can cancel it out as a factor. Now we are left with 600 times 1. So 600 times 1 is 600. And then we have 12 underneath. And our unit of measure that remains is feet. So now we can do the math. 600 divided by 12 equals 50 feet. And isn't that what we would do anyway? We would divide the number of inches by 12 to see how many feet we had. That's exactly what we did, and this is how that works. And because we have a pattern system, we can use this for any unit of measure that we want to. We can also use it for square units. So for instance, let's do 41.2, and we are going to convert 44 square feet, so feet squared, to square inches. So we need our unit of reference. 1 foot is the equivalent of 12 inches. So now we're going to bring this down. We're going to write 44. And what we're going to do is recognize that we have feet 2 times. Right? This is a variable, and we're going to put all of our factors out in a row. So we have feet and we have feet. Because if we multiply them as factors, then we can see that if this had a factor, an exponent of 1 and an exponent of 1 here, that's what this would look like, right? We treat it just like a variable. And we factor it out, and then we put that over 1 and turn it into a fraction. Now we are going to convert that into inches by using our reference point. So we say 12 inches in the top. So we can put feet in the bottom and cancel one of these. We factored it out. We need to factor out another foot unit of measure. So we do another 12 inches in the top and another foot in the bottom, and it allows us to cancel that one. Now what we have is 44 times 12 times 12 times inches times inches. And if these have an exponent of 1 on them, then what we'll do is we will, let me clear this, say 44 times 12 times 12 equals 6,336 inches, that's an N, squared, because these have been condensed into one variable, one base. We just add the exponents together whenever we multiply variables with the same base. So it's really all we're doing. And because 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, all of this would have been over 1, right? But anything over 1 is a whole number. So that makes this your final answer. All right, let's do number 41.3. So now we have 41.3. We have 42 square yards. And we want to convert that to square inches. So we need our reference. So we have 3 feet in 1 yard. But now we have to have inches. We need to know how many inches we need. So there are, in 1 foot, you have 12 inches. So if you want to save some space, you can multiply that in 1 yard, there are 36 inches. Let me show you how to do that. You have 3 feet here over 1 yard, 12 inches, right, over 1 foot. So we cancel the feet, and that ends up being 36 inches in 1 yard, because we had nothing to cancel the yard, and inches is the unit of measure in the top. So 36 inches is in 1 yard. So if you want to use this unit of measure reference instead of 2 of these, you're welcome to do that. But these would give you the same thing that gives you. So we're going to do it the long way. First, we have to recognize what we have here. And what we have here is 42 yards squared. And we want to go to inches squared. So we're going to bring this down, and we're going to say 42 times yard to the 1 times yard to the second, or to the 1, which makes yard to the second, over 1 times, let's use yards, okay? So we're going to put yard in the bottom. So 3 feet over 1 yard, cancels this one, times 3 feet, excuse me, over 1 yard, cancels this one. Now we have to do inches. All right, 12 inches over 1 foot, cancels the first one, times 12 inches over 1 foot, cancels the second one. So now what we have is 42 times 3 times 3 times 12 times inches times 12 times inches all over 1, which equals 42 times 3 times 3 times 12 times 12 equals 54,432 with inches squared. Now, let's write this over here for just a second. 54,432 inches squared. And let's erase all of this, right? We're going to use this unit of measure that we came up with. 42 times 36 inches in 1 yard, cancels this one, times 36 inches in 1 yard, cancels this one. Let's see if that's the same number. 42 times 36 times 36. 54,432 inches squared. So if you can relate by putting a unit of measure that's common in the top and the bottom and multiply to get a shorter or quicker reference point, you can save yourself a lot of space on your paper, and you can save yourself some time in the calculation, because this was much shorter than doing this 2 times. Okay. All right. So if that is something that you're like, I don't know what you just did, just stick to the original way. All right. Don't try to combine references because it could mess you up. But if you understand it, then use it. It's just a shortcut. All right. We have one more. We have 41.4. And we are going to use unit multipliers to convert 16 cubic miles to cubic feet. And then to cubic inches. All right, so what that means is we want to take 16 miles cubed and take it first to cubic feet, so feet cubed, and then to inches cubed. So let's do this one first. Notice we have an exponent of 3, so that's going to be miles once, miles twice, miles 3 times, right? All over 1. Now let's get our unit of reference here. We have 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet, and 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. All right, so first let's do the miles to feet. So 5280 feet over 1 mile. Cancel, cancel. Times 5280 feet over 1 mile. Cancel, cancel. Times 5280 feet over the last mile we have to cancel. So we have 16 times 5280 cubed, because we have 1, 2, 3, and then that's feet cubed. So what I'm going to do, pull up my calculator, and I'm going to say 5280 cubed times 16. That's a really, 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 really big number. In fact, it's such a big number that it doesn't give me the answer. It just gives me some more of this. So what we're going to do with this now is we're going to take it to the next step. We're going to say 16 over 1 times 5280 cubed over 1 times feet, 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 times 12 inches over 1 foot times 12 inches over 1 foot, cancel, cancel, times 12 inches over 1 foot, cancel, cancel, which gives you 16 times 5,280 cubed times 12 cubed, 1, 2, 3 in inches cubed. And that is the answer to that entire problem. Isn't that crazy? All right. That is the last problem for lesson 41. It's kind of a refresher because we've done these unit conversions before in Algebra 1, and they're kind of fun once you get the hang of them. And since that is all we have, I will see you guys in lesson 42.